Welcome everybody, and thanks for being here. Appreciate a lot of our friends here from the community, and appreciate the media being out here. My name is David Gilbert. I'm CEO of the Greater Cleveland Sports Commission, and we're here for a very exciting announcement today for Cleveland. As some of you may know, the Greater Cleveland Sports Commission is a nonprofit organization. It's been around now for about 17 years. And our job is to represent the Cleveland area in attracting and putting on major sporting events. And since our founding, we've now had over 170 sporting events that we've been responsible for attracting to Cleveland, managing in Cleveland. And those collectively now have meant over $500 million in direct spending into our economy. And today is a really exciting announcement, along with partners City of Cleveland and Cleveland Metroparks. And we are announcing that the 2018 and 2019 USA Triathlon Age Group National Championships will be held right here in Cleveland. And just to give you a little flavor of that event, if you could turn your attention to the video boards.
Here it's about competition. The best across the country come here to participate and compete in a world-class event. It's also about celebration. And mostly, it's about inspiration. You have to look out and you'll see what is possible at any age group. So we're here to compete, to celebrate, and to be inspired.
This is going to be really a tremendous event for our community. It's the largest event that's executed by USA Triathlon, who is the Olympic governing body for the sport for the U.S. It'll include an Olympic distance qualifier, a sprint distance open event, and the hub of it will be right here at Edgewater Park. In my mind, probably the most beautiful place to highlight our city. The race is going to go through and highlight a number of great neighborhoods. Detroit Shoreway, St. Clair Superior, University Circle, and downtown. What's very important about this, beyond just an incredibly exciting event, this is an enormous event for our economy. This event will feature over 5,000 athletes. We anticipate well over 90% of those will come from outside of Northeast Ohio, from all 50 states. They will bring with them an estimated 8,000 to 9,000 friends and family. We'll have 10,000 spectators. And what that will mean is each of the years that it's here, an estimated $6.5 million directly infused into our economy. And quite frankly, very rare for an event like this to be awarded for 2 years. Most of the events that we go after are only for 1 year, so we really are thrilled that we have 2 years to make this great and to add to our economy. As I mentioned, Saturday, is the Olympic distance triathlon, 1,500-meter swim, 40-kilometer bike, 10-kilometer run. And the winners in that event will represent Team USA at the ITU World Championships, the age group worlds in Lausanne, Switzerland in 2018 and in Edmonton, Canada in 2019. So we really will have absolutely the best athletes in the country, some of the very best in the world, that will be competing here. And Sunday is a sprint distance triathlon open for those athletes and anyone who wants to come in locally or from around the country to be part of this great experience. A huge hub that will be held here at Edgewater. We actually have designed and built a really exciting flyover, so athletes will be able to run over athletes who are riding underneath. Is going to add a very cool element to that event, unlike things that have been seen in most of the races. And we've been working on this for quite a while. As Mike Mulhall reminded me, we were out in Colorado Springs probably about a year ago having a meeting with USA Triathlon about this event. These things take quite a while. And quite frankly, it's a long and kind of detailed journey to get here. And it absolutely could not have been done without a number of people involved, but in particular, too, who you'll hear from, City of Cleveland and Cleveland Metroparks, that were very involved in the effort to have USA Triathlon choose Cleveland for this event, and also will be very involved in helping to execute an incredible event when they're here. It's my pleasure now to introduce Rob Urbach, the CEO of USA Triathlon. He's been CEO of the organization since 2011, 25-year career in sports, and in his tenure, USA Triathlon is an incredibly healthy Olympic governing body, all-time highs right now in membership, youth participation, events, certified coaches, sponsorship, fundraising, all the things you want to hear out of our Olympic sports to make them the most competitive in the world. And he's a competitive triathlete himself. So, Rob, welcome to Cleveland.
Thank you. Thanks, David. Certainly thrilled to be here, but I want to ask a quick question for our folks here. How many people here have actually done a triathlon? I know over here. So there's probably two groups of people here, those that are already part of our community and those that will be part of our community, just don't quite know it yet, right? So we'll look forward to all those that can get motivated to at least look at the sprint for next year. I know David will be there racing, home cooking, so no pressure, but I expect to see him put on an epic performance. So as David mentioned, this is our biggest event, and there are not just the 5,000 athletes that come from every state in the country, but they each bring family members. And also, they're going to be very, very hungry. So I'd encourage all the restaurants in the community to stock excess inventory. And our community is really great. There's a terrific inclusive community. There's so much social energy. I think that from the triathlon world, that the triathletes that come, they'll be very focused on Cleveland because that'll be their epic A race. So after this announcement today, we'll start looking at where am I going to stay, where's the course, is there a wetsuit swim, not wetsuit swim, hills, no hills. And I really want to thank the city because I understand the roads will be fresh, new, paved, and so we'll have a fantastic and safe, fast bike course. But our community will be pretty dialed in, and it'll be known as Cleveland. And that will go without saying as a destination for the city and for exposure. As you know, we're the national governing body, as David mentioned, and in addition to putting on this national championship, we run an Olympic program. We just won our first gold medal, the women's race, Gwen Jorgensen in Rio. We won 4 Paralympic medals, so we dominated the medal count for the Paralympics. And we have the top women's program in the world, and we're hopefully on the way on the men's side. So at USA Triathlon, we have 2 businesses. We're in the business of developing Olympians, and we're in the business of making everybody else, our age groupers, feel like Olympians. And that we'll see in Cleveland next year and in 2019. In addition, we sanction another 4,000 plus events. We have over 500,000 annual and one-day members. We certified 2,416 coaches, 516 race directors, 712 officials, and so we're in the business of governing the sport, making the rules, but we're really more in the business of enabling people to be part of our community, because there's something very special about the combination of swim, bike, and run that is not quite shared with our single sport brethren. Our sport is very, very hard. It's complicated. It takes a strong commitment, but our community is super inclusive. You know, we're a rare sport where the new athletes get support from the most experienced and the best athletes. I was talking to the Cleveland Tri Club, where they're doing a terrific job of bringing more and more people into their sport that they can transform their lives. Many people, you know, come to our sport for a pretty big health transformation, where they're coming off their adult onset diabetes medications or an addiction problem. The stickiness of our community and the support from our community is pretty unique and able to transform lives and make a big impact. And so I want to thank the city for helping us to, the epitome of us is this race coming next year, and hopefully everybody here will see that and view that through our community. Our mission is to grow and inspire the triathlon community, and I just feel the energy here. I'm looking at the venue, looking at the course, looking at the new boathouse, seeing the roads, the construction, and so I think this is good. I'm real excited. So I think that we made a great decision. It was competitive. There are a number of cities throughout the country that were vying to host this championship. We roll a pretty big ecosystem into town, and those 10,000 plus people and the economic impact that David talked about. So Cleveland impressed us with its energy, with the soul, and the support from the mayor, support from the Metroparks, support from the Sports Commission was unparalleled. So it made our decision actually pretty easy. So congratulations. We also were very impressed with the ability to Cleveland to host the big events. So certainly the Final Four, regional championships, the Republican National Convention. We talked to our colleagues of other national sports bodies that have hosted big events here, and so we did a lot of due diligence. And again, this city came up top. So we certainly, it's a big investment for us as our best and biggest race. And I just feel it here, coming here, and the people and the support that we've had, and the experience that others have had in our world. So hopefully this will do even more after Cleveland hosts our age group national championships in the next couple of years. We'll do more and more to showcase Cleveland as one of the top sports destination cities in the country. I want to jump in that water now, but I hear it's only about 48 degrees, so may have to wait. But that water looks really enticing, and it's going to be a great swim. So we're pretty excited about the city. Understand that we're getting pretty special treatment. It's not often that a major roadway gets shut down in a city for an event. So we're pretty excited. I know they do it a couple other times, but it's a pretty unique experience to be able to bike on a major thoroughfare like that. So we like the run as well, the nice paved runs. We probably will have some form of telecast broadcast. Right now, this year, we're doing internet simulcast, but as production becomes easier and easier to do for television. So what that means is that imagine what our telecast could look like when you start with the downtown, the venues, come out to the water here, and how that will show off the assets of the city to the passionate community of triathletes around the country, as well as even the world is watching this race, because it's probably the most competitive age group race, certainly in the country. And I see a Team USA jacket, so we're qualifying here to represent the U.S. As David mentioned, at the World Championships for the next 2 years. Also, we know that our community, people will take advantage of the other attractions here in town, the Rock and Roll Hall Museum, the other museums, the zoo. So a lot of families will come, and bringing the whole crew and the kids and the grandparents and the cousins and the neighbors, and because they really want to be there at the finish line for their athlete. But there's also a lot of, they're here a few days early, and there's some opportunities that they'll take in all the attractions in Cleveland. So in summary, We are really passionate about what we do, and I think that's represented by the community here of athletes that have showed up, and race directors who've helped to enable triathletes in their journey. And we really can't wait. I think 2000 next year will be here very, very quickly. So thank you, and very much appreciate all the support. I'd like to now introduce your mayor to speak next. So Mr. Frank Jackson, I really appreciate the welcome that he's provided myself and my team. Thank you.
Good morning. Good morning. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Thank you. You know, I want to welcome the USA Triathlon National Championship 2018-19, correct? 2-year event, and really thank the site selection committee for choosing Cleveland. You could have went other places, but you chose us. And as you mentioned, you did your due diligence, and we pride ourselves in making your event successful. So our job and our commitment, our purpose is to ensure that you will have a successful event and that you will be able to say that Cleveland was the best event to that point. And that's what our commitment is, that's what our job, that's what we aspire to do. I often tell people that when they come and they talk to us, the site selection committees, tell them that you can go anywhere else in the U.S. and you may be at a larger venue and a more popular venue, but you may be just one of whatever they do there. When you come to Cleveland, you will be the centerpiece. We will wrap around you, and you will be the only event that we think about at that period of time. So we want to guarantee that you're successful and that you believe that Cleveland was your best event that you've put on to that point. So again, thank you very much for choosing us. Greatly appreciate it. And of course, we all have partners in doing this. So Mr. Brian Simmerman from Metroparks will speak to you next. Thank you.
Well, thank you, and again, welcome to Edgewater Park, part of our lakefront reservation and part of our 18 family of reservations, over 23,000 acres here preserved in Northeast Ohio. And I can tell you we couldn't be more excited about this opportunity to host this type of event here in Cleveland. Having spent time in other cities and seeing how they've done things, I know that our team is definitely up to the task. And when I look at the people that it took to make this happen, the group, Matt and Brian coming in from Colorado, and Mike and the whole team, David, and I have to give huge props to our staff here at this park in particular. The work that they do every day is really what helps bring these events to town. And when you look at the impact of the Shoreway, over $100 million in the Shoreway project, we're putting about $4.5 million into the beach house. We're working on the beach even as we speak today. And the connections to the neighborhood, I think that's not lost on what's going on here. But the partnerships, and when you look at how people work together to bring this, this is no small task. And the meetings and the amount of commitment from this city is really second to none, and I echo the mayor's sentiments and the whole team. We're here to make this the best event that you've ever had. So thank you and welcome to Cleveland.
Thanks, Brian. We also have some great members of our local triathlon community here. I'm going to name some, but these are all athletes, coaches, heads of our Cleveland Tri Club, event organizers. We have Heidi Benson, Tim Edwards, Gunny Fitz, Tony Lammers, Nancy Lyon, Sherman McKee, Kevin Smith, and in particular want to call out Mickey Rismick, who has been a friend for a long time, but was also very instrumental in working with us in getting this event, designing the course, and has just been a friend of the organization for a long time. Mickey, thank you. Also just have to call out the Sports Commission staff. As I mentioned, this is something like this doesn't just happen by accident. USA Triathlon doesn't throw a dart at a map and it lands on Cleveland and that's where they're going to go. There's a tremendous amount of time and energy that goes into the competition that is part of having an event like this awarded to a community. And lastly, I just would like to say that, and this is really to Rob and your whole team, this is not an event for us. This is a source of pride, and I could tell you that our goal was not to get this event to Cleveland. Our goal is that when you leave, you are going to be telling us this is the best nationals that you've ever had, and that's what we're going to work to do. So, thank you again. Thank you all for being here, and excited for summer of 18 and 19.